KUAM News Extra. The Chamoru Lunar Calendar Committee, under the auspices of the Western Pacific Regional Fisheries Management Council, has been working hard on the development of the annual lunar calendar. The theme of the 2011 lunar calendar is Finu Gualafun, Respeta Itano Zanitasi. This means in Chamorro, Moonlight Talk, Respect the Land and the Ocean. The theme encourages discussion on the importance of respecting our land and ocean resources, the lunar cycles that affect the life cycles of the flora and fauna of the land and ocean, and their importance to the people and culture of the Marianas. The calendar will be distributed during the 3rd annual Guput Faninahan Pulan Chamorro, which will be held at the Hagåtña Guam Fishermen's Cooperative along the stretch of Hagåtña Marina and Boat Basin next to the Chamorro village. The purpose of the event is to promote the Chamorro culture and bring our community to include local, military, and even visitors together to celebrate the arrival of the new lunar year. Now with me in studio is Chamoru Ramirez, a good friend of ours here at KUAM. He's not only from the Department of Parks and Recreation, he's also part of the Chamorro Lunar Festival Committee. And of course, that's what we're going to talk about here tonight. Tony Hafade, thanks for joining us.
Hafade, and I'm very pleased to be here.
Okay.
Good evening.
All right, so it's fortunate that we have you here because a couple weeks ago we had John Calvo, who of course is with NOAA, and he was talking about the event that you're going to talk about, the Chamorro Lunar Calendar celebration. You're going to drill down into some more specific aspects because a lot of people watch that and they're like, I had no idea that Chamorro culture has its own calendar and everything. So maybe just introduce the calendar very briefly.
Well, the Chamorro Lunar Calendar is based on a 13th cycle of the 13th full moon, and it was written in records. And we were so fortunate that those records were not lost. So today we have the recorded month for all 13, what do you call that, month in the Chamorro calendar. And to understand it, okay, when you really look into the orthography, the way it was written, the way it was thought out by the Chamorro people, it is almost biblical in the context of, like the first month is Tumaigrini, which means in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning, then it starts going into the cycle, basically of resources. So that there was this connection between man, land, and sea. So it's a very beautiful calendar, the Chamorro calendar. Pulan is the word for moon in Chamorro, but it also has 3 meanings. It could mean moon, it could mean the month, or it could also mean to care for. So there's 3 meanings. And then tied into the moon cycle, you have the word sakkan. And sakkan also has 3 meanings. It can mean the year, it can mean the time of harvest, and also it can mean your age as an individual or an age of anything.
They're all kind of intertwined in a way too, because the harvest and somebody's age and everything, I mean, they kind of interplay upon each other.
Right, yeah, and that's what the Chamorro Lunar Calendar is based on. Mm-hmm. And remember, we are an Asiatic group, the Pacific Islanders, at least in our area. Stemming from the Asian continent, and so you have the Chinese New Year, which is based on the 13 months too. Mm. And they're celebrating their New Year, I believe, on February 3rd. Mm-hmm. And the Chamorro is no different in that type of concept of celebrating and using the moon as the timetable of their life cycle. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so what is being done right now with the event that people will be able to? It's the 3rd annual.
Right, this is the 3rd annual, and my part, Jason, basically is the educational awareness of the program of the Chamorro Lunar Calendar. So I'm involved with the research, I'm involved with the engaging people to understand what the lunar calendar is all about and how it interplays into the, as I said earlier, the research management of their own resources here in Guam. Because in the different references of each month, there is a definite, what do you call that? For most of them, we have the meaning, a definite pattern in the way each month flows into the other. As I said in the beginning, the first month of the year is Tumaigrini. Like the Bible, in the beginning there was, and then it flows through. We have a month that's called Sumongsung. And Sumongsung in Chamorro means to pluck. That's the beginning of the dry season, meaning the cycle or nature has plucked the skies so that we enter the dry season, which in Chamorro is called Fandumagan. And then we also have a month called Fangualo, which means it's the time of planting, again based on the cycle between the Fanumagan, which is the dry season, and Fanutsanan, which is the rainy season.
Mm-hmm. And this is something that our ancestors both conceptually with the calendar and then finally, like later on in our modern time in its tangible form and everything, would use not only for seafaring purposes, like you say, you know, for navigability, but also to, like you said, to harvest and to farm.
To farm and also, like I said, okay, to manage your own resources. Mm-hmm. It's very intricate in the Chamoru Lunar Calendar. It's really very interesting to also know that although the Western calendar was introduced into the Marianas among the Chamorro people, I really still believe the Chamorros are operating, at least the farmers and the fishermen, on the Chamoru Lunar Calendar, although they're referencing these months or these dates to the Western calendar. But again, because of the cycle of when the manat comes in, that's the rabbitfish, sure, or the atulai, it's really based on their knowledge inherited from our ancestors through the Chamoru Lunar Calendar.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is fascinating stuff. Where can people go to get more information? I mean, aside from the event and everything, where can people go and maybe ask questions from experts like yourself and, you know, kind of bounce a lot of ideas off you?
Well, this is my third year of my involvement with the Chamoru Lunar Calendar group, and I'll be there the whole day of basically of Sunday, mm-hmm, and they could come to my booth. For this coming Sunday's event, there are about 67 exhibitors, but the exhibitors range from the academics, like my part, to exhibitors of arts and craft, exhibitors to, what do you call that, the fishing traditions of the Chamorro people, and also the agricultural traditions of the Chamorro people. We're all together on that day to celebrate the, what we call Bulan Chamorro, the Chamorro month, okay, mm-hmm, as a celebration, which again we inherited, or is still really living in today's day-to-day living among the Chamorro people. We're just using the Western calendar as it's like it's camouflage over the traditional calendar. As a reference point, maybe. As a reference point, okay, in the way we interact with our environment and the way we interact with the resources when we go and when we go fishing. There's a different cycle of when the manat comes in, when the TO comes in, or whatever. Again, and you know, if you understand also the concept, and this is within each culture, you know, the sun and the moon. In Chamorro, we say imatani pilan, which means the face of the moon, because it changes, and you can guide yourself to the change of the moon, you know, from the beginning, the new moon to the full moon. For us, the sun is very constant. It's always the way it is every day. When we see it, you know, and we relate to it.
Okay, I'm sorry.